Welcome, everyone, to today's deep dive. We are incredibly excited to get into this one with you today. It's a monumental topic. But real quick, right up top, please subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, please do. It really helps us out.
It totally does. Your support is, it's what gives us the motivation to tackle these massive, complex topics and break them down for you. So today, we are looking at just one single document.
Right.
But it is a highly detailed, world-shaking military and geopolitical briefing. We are talking about Operation Epic Fury.
Epic Fury.
Yeah, which is this massive U.S. and Israeli military campaign against Iranian factions.
Yeah.
And as of this recording, around March 2026, we are currently on the 4th day of this operation.
Exactly. And the briefing we're analyzing today, it really details something that we haven't quite seen in modern warfare. The sheer scale and the speed of it all is just, it's extraordinary.
It's mind-blowing. So our mission today for you is to unpack that staggering scale. We're going to translate all that dense military jargon into real-world implications and critically examine the difference between the document's claims of, absolute control and what's actually happening on the ground.
Right, but before we get into the weeds here, I think it is crucial to lay down some ground rules. This document contains highly charged political and military narratives involving President Trump and the Iranian leadership.
Oh, absolutely. It's intense.
It is. So we are here strictly to analyze what the specific text reports. We are taking absolutely no political sides. We are not endorsing any political figures, administrations, or factions. We are just reading the data.
Perfectly said. That impartiality is so important for a deep dive like this. Okay, let's unpack this, because the first major theme of the briefing is just an astronomical projection of power. According to the data in my hands, this air campaign is twice the size of the 2003 Iraq shock and awe.
Which is a huge benchmark.
A massive benchmark. And notably, this is without the whole Paul Bremer-style nation building that we saw back then. It's just pure, uninterrupted military execution.
Yeah, the text is very clear on that. They aren't trying to conquer and rebuild. They are trying to dismantle.
Exactly. And the intensity is 7 times that of Israel's previous 12-day war. 7 times. They've got B-2 stealth bombers, massive B-52s, supersonic B-1 bombers, all flying alongside these Predator drones. Coordinating that kind of fleet in the same airspace is a logistical miracle.
It is a massive logistical feat, sure, but we need to look closely at this concept the report leans heavily on. They call it the impenetrable steel canopy.
Right, uncontested airspace.
Uncontested, exactly. The report frames this total dominance of the sky in just 4 days as this monumental, flawless victory. But if you step back and look at the reality, it's not quite the miracle it's painted.
How do you mean? I mean, establishing total control in that region so quickly seems like a textbook win.
Well, American defense officials admit between the lines that this was never designed to be a fair fight. You have to remember what they're up against. The Iranian Air Force is largely running on 1996 technology, heavily degraded by years of sanctions.
Okay, that's a fair point. The tech gap is real.
It's a chasm. You are pitting 1996 tech against 2026 battle space capabilities. We're talking top-tier stealth, advanced radar, AI-assisted targeting. It's like putting a heavyweight champion in the ring with featherweight.
Right.
So of course they established steel canopy. The total victory narrative feels a little overly heroic when you consider the sheer technological imbalance. The collapse of the defense infrastructure was basically a mathematical certainty.
I hear you. The technological advantage is undeniable, but I still think the execution flying thousands of sorties from across the globe without a major logistical hiccup is incredible. And the strategy they used on the command structure is fascinating. The briefing uses this football analogy.
Our first 20 plays.
Yeah, they say the Iranian command had the first 20 plays scripted. When the first missiles launched, they executed those rehearsed moves perfectly. But once the coalition absorbed those 20 plays, the Iranian playbook totally collapsed.
Their command chain basically froze.
Completely. The governing council is neutralized, supposedly hiding in deep underground bunker. And get this, the specific special ops commander who was behind a previous assassination attempt on President Trump.
Right, the report mentions him.
Elite coalition units hunted him down and eliminated him. That's not just dropping bombs randomly. That is a surgical, highly precise decapitation strategy that dismantled a national command structure in 96 hours.
It's a very effective decapitation strategy, yes. But while the text frames this as brilliant tactical paralysis, it inadvertently reveals a very dark domestic reality going on right now.
You're talking about the information blackout.
Exactly. The report notes that the IRGC has completely severed internet access across the country. And this isn't just collateral damage from a bombed cell tower.
So they did it to themselves.
Yes, they are intentionally blinding their own citizens to the reality of the battle. It's the exact same heavy-handed suppression tactics the regime has always used to maintain internal control. While the commanders are safe in their bunkers, millions of civilians are trapped in the dark, isolated, with no no idea what's happening outside.
Wow.
The report loves talking about the tactical wins, but it really glosses over the immense human cost of that black.
That's terrifying, just being completely cut off while all this is happening above you. It really shows how quickly the grand plans fall apart on both sides once the reality of conflict sets in. Like the old Mike Tyson quote, right?
Yeah.
Everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
And they took a massive punch to the mouth.
A historic one. Hey, real quick, if you were enjoying this deep dive into the logistics and strategy behind the headlines, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Okay, so we talked about the air and the ground, but the naval milestones in this briefing absolutely blew my mind.
The Indian Ocean incident.
Yes. Okay, so obviously the flagship vessel, the Submarine, was sunk in the Persian Gulf. Huge deal. But out in the deep waters of the Indian Ocean, an American fast attack submarine tracked and sank a major Iranian warship.
With a single torpedo.
With one torpedo. This is the first time since World War II that an enemy combatant ship has been intentionally sunk by a submarine torpedo. That is a milestone that will literally be written into naval history book.
It's undeniably historic, but from an analytical standpoint, the real question is the so what? Why do this now?
A show of force.
Partly, sinking a ship in the deep ocean, far from the main theater, sends a very deliberate message to other global powers watching this, like China or Russia. It says the coalition owns the depths just as much as the skies. But honestly, the most crucial logistical shift the briefing mentions isn't the torpedo, it's the bomb.
The shifting munitions, right?
Yes, because that steel canopy is in place and the skies are completely clear of threats, the coalition is radically changing how they fight. During the initial strikes, they had to rely on standoff munitions.
And for anyone who doesn't know, standoff munitions are those million-dollar smart missiles you fire from miles away, well outside the range of enemy air defenses.
Exactly. They are incredibly expensive, slow to produce, and stockpiles run out fast. But now, because the airspace is uncontested, they don't need them. The bombers are literally flying directly over the targets and dropping 500, 1,000, and 2,000-pound GPS and laser-guided gravity bombs.
Which are basically the standard traditional heavy bombs.
Right. And the U.S. has a virtually unlimited stockpile of these gravity bombs.
So they're not going to run out of ammo anytime soon.
Not even close. It means they can sustain this punishing, relentless pace of destruction indefinitely. The cost per strike has plummeted. It's a brutal logistical advantage.
That is just unlimited munitions, total control of the sky, historic submarine dominance, and a paralyzed enemy command. It really justifies the name Operation Epic Fury. It's a masterclass in overwhelming force.
It looks like a masterclass on paper, but this is where I have to be highly critical of the document's overall tone. Amidst all this celebration of absolute dominance and technological supremacy, there is a very sobering reality check buried in the text. Casual. The report admits that despite this impenetrable defense grid, the sheer saturation of the initial Iranian ballistic launches actually penetrated the advanced fence.
The system basically got overwhelmed.
It did. And tragically, it resulted in the loss of 6 American service members.
Right. Every loss is a tragedy. The text did mention they are bringing those soldiers home with the highest honors and that their loss strengthens the resolve of the mission. But if we look at it strictly from a statistical military standpoint, destroying a nation's entire ballistic capability and navy in 96 hours while suffering only 6 casualties is almost unheard of in conventional warfare.
Statistically, sure, but waving it away as a minor statistical anomaly is exactly what leads to dangerous overconfidence. Even the military commanders in the briefing are warning against declaring premature victory.
Because of what comes next.
Exactly. The Iranian Navy might be at the bottom of the Gulf, and the command might be in bunkers, but threat isn't gone, it's just decentralized.
The asymmetrical warfare phase.
Yes. By destroying the conventional military, you leave behind thousands of isolated proxy militias, rogue elements, and radicalized factions who now have no central command. And they aren't going to fight conventionally.
They can.
Right. So what do? The briefing explicitly warns they will resort to asymmetrical tactics, launching cheap, one-way suicide drones, targeting soft diplomatic targets, embassies, civilian contractors.
Hitting where defenses are weakest.
Precisely. Seizing control of the airspace and sea without a massive ground invasion is a huge geopolitical achievement, but it leaves behind a messy, unpredictable, and highly dangerous decentralized threat. The war isn't over. It's just entering a much darker, much harder to control phase.
That is a brilliant point, and it perfectly frames the big picture here. So, to summarize what we've unpacked today, we are looking at an absolutely unprecedented display of aerial and naval supremacy. The coalition has effectively dismantled a nation's conventional military capability in just 96 hours.
Without a massive ground force.
Right, strictly from the sky and the sea. But as you pointed out, the true test isn't the initial shock and awe. The true test is dealing with the chaotic, asymmetric proxy warfare that is inevitably going to follow.
The aftermath is always the hardest part.
It always is. Well, that wraps up our deep dive for today. Before we go, please subscribe to our channel. It means the world to us and keeps these deep dives coming.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
And I want to leave you with a fascinating question to ponder on your own. If a nation's entire conventional military can be erased from the sky and sea enemy in just 4 days from thousands of miles away. Are the days of traditional warfare completely over? Or have we just entered a much darker era of permanent, unpredictable proxy conflict? Think about that. Stay curious, and we'll catch you in the next deep dive.